Hey, what's up, guys? I know you guys are probably just drowning in music for a bit, but I appreciate your patience as I've been pretty busy these past, I don't know, months. All right. Let me tidy up a couple things, and then we'll get started. I truly appreciate your guys' patience. I know there's definitely a lot to talk about, so give me a couple more seconds to be like, hey, what's going on, guys? And welcome to my first impressions of Street Fighter Six. I mean, I'm gonna go right into it. I mean, it's like I know I'm not quick enough on the draw to get this content out because literally have no time. I don't know how you content creators, man, you like capture stuff, and that thing is like up like within a day. I don't got those free times, man. And also, I just want to point out too that uh, even like some of the little clips that I put out there, people already started to put that on YouTube. So I'm like, I can't share this way. See, this is what happens. Like I put little footage out there. I can't even talk about it yet. You know, I don't even have time to like talk about it and stuff because I'm still playing. I'm playing, or I'm like walking around and doing stuff, or like I'm busy, right? And then you got people like taking that content and we're like, yo, watch while you play. And I'm like, dude, all right. So if you guys gonna do me like that, I'm gonna do it like this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, I'm just PSA to everybody that is excited to get some content out there. You got to be a little bit more careful now because people are just ripping your stuff, putting it out there, putting their own overlays, and like you're like literally you spend hundreds of dollars at a convention or whatever. Comic Con's not cheap, but for the people that actually like get those passes, and then they put footage up there, and then they're just excited, right? And then somebody jacks their stuff. We don't do that here, all right? But I'm just saying, like that I'm not saying that stung, but I think that was a little bit unfair for the people that were there and put the content out there, but didn't get enough time to explain what was going on. So, uh, so don't do that. Don't be that person. Always ask permission before. Even like a Twitter. It's cool to quote tweet these things and attach like your thoughts on it. Sure, because you're giving the original poster like credit. But if you're straight ripping it and then putting it on your own on YouTube, that's not good. Don't do that. Like a lot of tournament organizers too, and stream producers that produce events, like we're still suffering from this stuff. So just a PSA, just ask. Use common sense and ask. All right. All right, cool. So I'm just gonna set the record straight too that this is not a live playthrough. Okay, I don't have access to play Street Fighter Six outside of the venue that I played in. Okay, so if you guys are thinking like, oh, am I gonna play it right now? I'm like, no, that's not what this is about. This is just to talk about the first impressions of my time that I was playing with it. And I also have some exclusive footage. Don't have very much. I have some because I had to ask people to hold my phone. To like record this. I didn't have no. I wasn't Maximilian. I didn't go in there and like direct feed that stuff. I didn't. I wasn't prepared like that. I'm not the typical content creator. I just like doing things live and just in my archaic ways and making it work. Okay, so yeah, so let's talk about where I played this. So I played Street Fighter Six for the first time at Comic Con in San Diego. So, and the thing about Comic Con San Diego, and most conventions of that size, Comic Con has not been, present for like the past few years. So, kind of like Evo. Evo hasn't been around for a couple of years. So, it was like a pretty big ordeal to be back there. And me personally, I have not been to Comic Con since like, I want to say 2013, around there, around where like the or 2012, like somewhere where like Cross Tekken was announced or something, like around there, around that era. So it's been a long time for me too. Like normally the comic stuff doesn't really like get to me, to like go, but it's more of the interactive stuff. So, um, like where you can play some of the games where they have announcements and stuff. That's pretty cool. You know what I mean? I'm not like a huge collector. My man Jimmy, my business partner Jimmy from Level Up, he's a big time collector. So those type of things like, he used to go to, but like obviously he doesn't have as much time anymore. But but it's like the fandom of Comic Con is still pretty fun, and like you like some of the stuff like they have Marvel announcements which are cool. Yeah, the movie universe now is a really big deal at these things. So I'm just kind of letting you know, like, if you do want to go to Comic Con now, it's actually, I think it's more versatile. It's not just comics and like merch shops and artist alley. Like there's a whole there's interactive stuff like the Capcom booth, right? There's other booths out there you can play games. There are like huge announcements for like the movies, like the Marvel cinematic universe, and like sometimes game announcements too. Like they if it's time right, they do those things, and meets with special meets with the characters of the comic books or with the movies or whatever. So those are like, if you're into that stuff, that's pretty cool. So was there on Friday. Okay, so that was the only day I was there, and I don't know if you guys ever been to, like any convention, right? It's a little different these days because there's COVID protocol stuff. They were actually pretty strict on that. Like you have to go and make sure you have your COVID credentials, like your you have to have your shots documented. Um, excuse me. And you have to go and make sure that is checked, and then you get a wristband, and then you go to the badge check-in, and like, so yeah, there's a bit of an effort now to go to these things. Okay, so like it's not just, I pick up my badge and good to go. Okay, so I went on Friday, and I live about a couple hours away from Comic Con, and it was like, I knew that type of event, like just Comic Con itself, is gonna be ridiculous. Like that's like the biggest convention in San Diego. Like at least the one that I know is like huge, right? So I had to leave my place like 6:30 in the morning, okay, to ensure, like, I didn't know if I was even gonna get in because the tickets were sold out and everything. Like it's pretty monstrous of an event. Okay, yeah, there's no way that you like. The only way to could play Street Fighter 6 is if you had a pass, right? And it's not one of those things where you can just show up and just like, hey, I want to buy a Comic Con pass. We're like, well, we sold out like last year. Like, what? So luckily, like, I was able to get a pass, and shout outs to Capcom. Actually, like, they were very helpful in getting me a pass because we work pretty damn hard in the background, right, to help with the events, and they're like, oh, you haven't played it yet? That's cool. Okay, yeah, here you can go over there. So went down there 6:30 in the morning. Traffic wasn't so bad. I beat the 8 a.m. rush, so I got there, about 2 hours. I got there about 8:30, and I went through the process, got my like COVID check, and I got in the badge area. So I didn't just like go directly to the Capcom booth yet. And also I want to I want to let you know, like, the whole safety thing, like, it's real, right? Because like you have to wear masks the entire time, and I am also planning to go to Evo, and I have family and a kid at home, so I was going to limit the areas that I was going to walk to, and but I had one stop to make before I hit the Capcom booth. It was I went to the udon. Went to the udon booth because they had the limited edition Street Fighter Six Chun-Li shirt, and they were already sold out. Right, because Friday is not the first day of Comic Con. It was already those shirts were sold out on Thursday already. So, but good thing they had the Sagat shirt. You know what? Hold on. Let, let me show you. Let me show you. Give me a second. Give me a second. Oh, I'll be right back. We're doing this live. Yeah, it's a little bit of show and tell here. Yeah, yeah. So okay, I knew, because I go to certain different conventions, and if I want to get any type of merch, okay, you got to get the merch first. If you don't get, and I knew I only have one day. I have one day. I also, promise Jimmy that, hey, dude, like, yeah, I'll get the shirts, right? Because I have the rest of the day to play Street Fighter 6. So I went to the Udon booth. I looked for it. So the Udon booth was the opposite side of the corridor from the Capcom booth. They were literally polar opposite directions. Okay, so yeah, you have to look at like addresses because there's like freaking thousands of booths there and stuff. So went over there and I looked up and the Chun-Li outfit was, or the Chun-Li outfit, but the Comic Con Street Fighter 6 Chun-Li shirt was sold out. I was like, damn, couldn't get that. So picked up this bad boy. Yeah, that is the Sagat. That is sick. Picked some of these up right here. Boom. Yeah, I was able to get like 4 of these. I got some for Jimmy and his fam, and me and mine. So, but yeah, that went over there and then handle that business. So you got to go with a plan. So go over there. I got it because I didn't know if those things were gonna be sold out. I don't want to come back empty-handed. Okay, so I went there and then I just kind of went all the way back to the Capcom booth. Remember, I'm still weird. It's a lot of people, and I got COVID once. Okay, and the only reason I got COVID is because my lady gave it to me because she got it from work from somebody that was selfish and went to work sick, and she got it and brought it home, and we all got sick. So I didn't want to be the one to bring that back. So I'm just trying to let you guys know my situation where I'm just gonna go to the udon booth and then I'm gonna walk all the way to the Capcom booth. Now, so the really cool thing about getting to the Capcom booth, right? So it was a rather large booth. Okay, it was actually pretty big, right? And let me see. I did. Well, okay. I'll just keep talking for the talk's sake. So, if you see a picture of this thing, and I'll show you guys in the vid soon. Like they made their booth into Metro City, which was really dope. And Metro City is the final fight, where Final Fight takes place, right? And so Capcom has announced that Street Fighter 6, like that whatever their one player mode is, that's one of the scenes or one of the towns that like their first player content takes place in. So that's pretty cool. Like I hope there's various worlds. Like I hope there's that. I hope there's like the rival schools area, because there's a rival schools, right, characters, right. I hope they go to wherever, like Japan, or they go to other like different characters, like worlds, right. Not just like where, not just a certain stage, but like their actual kind of world. That would be sick. So did you miss my impressions on the gameplay? No, not yet. This is where we're just getting everybody in. We're talking about my experience getting to Comic Con and me arriving at the Comic Con booth. Okay, so you didn't miss a thing yet, Mozuna. Thank you for joining in. So, um, again, the worlds, right? So Metro City was the layout of the booth, which was pretty dope. Man, I gotta show you guys a picture, man. I took pictures on my phone, and should I do the getaway? I should just show you through my phone, then freaking clip it and here. Hold on. Yeah, let me let me see if this works. Let me see how ghetto I can make it. Hold on. I can't do this to you guys, dude. I gotta upload this stuff. Oh, you know what? You know what I can do? Make it easier. See, we're doing this live. It's too good. I'm just gonna tweet it out, man. Tweet it out, and then we're gonna capture this stuff like there. Boom. Okay, let's do that. Oh, yo, we got Bummy in the house. All right. Hold on. Okay, all right. Comic Con, good times at the Capcom. Oh, I'm gonna put at the Metro City Capcom booth. There we go. All right. Yeah. So we're gonna do it this way. We're gonna do a little bit ghetto, but it's fine. Oh, I got a Maturino, like that I can change out the properties for. All right, let's see here. Oh yeah. We can do it this way. You can definitely do it this way. Okay. Don't worry, we'll get there. All right. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we'll do it this way. All right. Okay, so as you can see, so those obviously the three gentlemen right there. They are on the Street Fighter 6 development team. Okay. They are the rock stars of this whole ordeal. Like the game that's about to be in our possessions. Shout outs to them. Okay. So as you can see in the background right there, like when we were taking a picture, this is kind of almost before I left. Cause I happened to catch them before I left, and I'm like, I had to give them their props and stuff. But I'll get to that story time later. So got a picture of that. Okay. So yeah, that. There we go. That's better. So you can see the kiosk there. Now I'm gonna be real, okay? So when you go to these conventions and they display a game, if you're a competitive player, you're gonna notice something right away. When you play those monitors that are on the floor are called trade show monitors. Trade show monitors are just optimized for the visual stuff. So they'll blast it up 4K, best picture possible. Okay, but when it comes to gameplay and the input latency, it's not built for that. So the priority is to make their game look good over at least for the casual experience, right? Because casuals are not gonna know if the game lags or not. All right, so the kiosks were definitely not like competitive ready. They're more of trade show. Like it looks pretty. I don't know if it lags. It just looks fun, cool. I play. Now the stage in the back. Okay, so the stage in the back. Those were better monitors. So I'm not sure if they were like super optimized for input latency, but you can definitely I could definitely feel the difference. Okay, I was able to react a little bit better, do better anti-airs and stuff like that, and you'll see from like the video footage that I have now. And fair warning, like the video footage that I have is not direct feed; they're straight from my phone. Okay, so it's yeah. So if a lot of players did express their concerns, if like yeah, freaking when I was playing on those kiosks and when I was playing on the floor, that was super laggy, man. I'm like, okay, I told him, hey, dude, calm down, man. These are trade show monitors. This is just for the fans that are like, just want to play the game. They don't know any about like the hardcore freaking tournament ready. You know, gotta be on PC. They were actually on PlayStation 5 dev kits, I believe. So, yeah, they're definitely on PlayStation 5 dev kits, and the reason I know is because when we went to the home screen, you can clearly see it's PlayStation 5 UI. Okay, all right, so I'm in this amazing booth, and there was a line. Actually, I should just go back here. Okay, so there's a line. You know, dude, I'm gonna do this live with you guys. I'm gonna put, because I did take footage of like the surrounding area. Now that I am streaming and I have this stuff, I don't have to worry about somebody grabbing that footage and putting it up there on themselves. So like they're gonna have to like listen to me while they rip it. All right, we're doing this live. This is the best part. Yeah, hell yeah. We're all right. Capcom Metro City booth walk through. Yeah, everything's so like easy now. Like putting this on your phone and stuff is crazy. It's wild. It's wild. All right, where's my little walkthrough of this? Is it this? Tell me, is this? Tell me, is this, baby? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay. Yeah. Everybody's rubbing their hands. They're getting their overlays ready and stuff. All right, hold on. We're gonna grab the footage, the video footage, okay, of the walkthrough of the booth. It's only like a minute long, so we're gonna have fun. We're not just gonna go straight into the Street Fighter 6 footage. Come on now, you know we gotta build it up, man. We gotta build it up. I gotta lay the lay of the land here, right? You gotta lay of the land, like the atmosphere, everything counts, okay? When you're offline, play is community, is actual the community, is where you meet people. That's where I grew up from, right? Before the internet space, right? Internet, you can still grow. It's another space that you can grow it, but like, you know, I definitely prefer in-person contact, right? And having fun and stuff like that. Okay, all right. I think we're gonna move on to the walkthrough. Okay, all right, it's right here. Yeah, baby. Hold on. Let me switch. Okay. Do full screen on this. Better? Nah. Let's do it this way. Okay. All right. So here we go. All right, here we are. Made it. Yeah, so there was like Monster Hunter and Capcom Fighting Collection also there, like behind it. Alright, so you see the line? There's the line to play Street Fighter 6. I was walking around. I haven't even played yet at this point. Right? Remember, I came from the udon booth. I went all the way over here. Well, this was still fairly early in the morning. Um, right? Yeah. Okay, so
Here we are.
yep. So it was still fairly in the morning, right? Yeah, I can play it in the background while I talk about it. So this was still fairly in the morning. Remember, I got there at 8:30. The doors actually opened at 10. But even though I got there at 8:30, like I didn't actually park by Comic Con. I parked at a buddy's house and I Ubered because parking by that type of convention is mad expensive. You're looking at like 50 something up dollars, and yeah, it's ridiculous. 50 plus $80. It's ridiculous. So I Ubered. I got dropped off next to like the hotel, the closest hotel, and that's where the COVID check was. So by the time I got that situated and my badge, it was about like 9:15 or something, and the doors don't open till like 10 that day. Okay, and so I was like waiting in line. I took a picture of like the or I took a video of the line. Um, let me share that real quick. I took a video of the line to get into Comic Con. I swear I did. It's coming. Did a lot of retweets because a lot of things are going on. Oh, yeah. It's right here. Yeah, buddy. Right here.
The line to get in. Comic Con 2022.
Yep. So I'm literally time stamping my visit to Comic Con. Okay, so I got my badge. Oh yeah, so it's been years since I've been. Remember, it's been years since I've been to Comic Con. Okay, and when I got my badge, I guess somebody from the pit or like the staff like ran up to where I was getting my badge, and he goes, right when my badge was printing, he looked at it. He looked at me, like squinty eye, right? Like, and then he just saw my badge printing, so he ran up to the badge and he looked at it. He's all, "I knew you looked familiar. You're Valle, right?" I'm like, "Hey, how you doing, man?" I'm wearing my mask, by the way, too. He's like, "Oh, I knew you kind of looked familiar, man." I'm like, "Dude, how you doing, bro?" I'm smiling too because like I'm interacting with people. I really don't. I'm a hermit nowadays, so I don't go out as much. So like when anybody like recognizes me and saying what's up, dude, it's still a great feeling, and bless them for like just taking some time out of their day to just say what's up. And I'm like, yo, hey, you know when he did that, okay, when he did that and said, hey, what's up, I'm like, hey, I haven't been here in a while. What do you do after here, man? I'm straight asking for the tech, right? I'm like, hey, where do I go from here? How do I get to like this maze? And I go, oh, I got you, man. I got you. So let me tell you what you got to do. So you got to go to this. You got to go see that person over there to check you in, and you got to go get your Comic Con bag if you want it, and it has like the agenda on there, etc., etc. So, and then once you get there, then there's like a line, which see Comic Con's not open yet. There's a big line. Just go into it, and then just wait until the doors open, and then follow the line. I'm like, okay, dope, sick. Thank you so much, man. He goes, all right, it's great to see you. Saying, we're not even playing Street Fighter. That's the sick part, dude. We're not even playing games yet. We're just saying what's up. That's that's pretty dope. It's like again, human interaction is everything. And I have another great example of human interaction. Okay, so yeah, dude, look, we can look at my damn Twitter. It just shows. Okay, so after this line, right? then I didn't post pictures of the of the udon stuff, and I'll tell you why. I didn't want to post anything to remind people to go get that stuff because, uh, you know, because I'm trying to buy merch too. I didn't want to sell myself out. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to hey, I'm just trying to sneak into the udon stuff to get my stuff and out. I'm out of there. And then I finally get to the Capcom booth, and I take a picture. I'm like, yo, I'm here. It's time to play. So, all right. So this is literally the first time I was about to play. Okay, so, yeah, right. Okay, all right. Hold on. I have a little interaction. Oh, you know what time it is.
All right.
My man's loading up the screen for us. You excited, man?
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
First time playing?
No, it's the second time for me.
So you played more than I have.
One match. I got beat down on.
Oh yeah? Okay, it's all good.
It's my first time really playing in like probably a decade or maybe 15 years at this point.
Hey, we're happy to have you back. Yeah, we're happy to have you back, man.
Okay, player one, player two.
Oh man.
There you go.
Let's go.
Cool.
All right, so have a good game, man. See, I don't know who that person is, right? I tell people this all the time. All right, like I don't. When it's pretty saddening that a lot of young players have not experienced like the arcade culture, and it may seem a little weird going to like conventions and kind of have to interact with people because you're not used to it. You're kind of in your little bubble, and some you are used to it. But like I'm just saying, when I was a boy and I went to 7-Eleven and I saw people playing Street Fighter 2, I was like, "What is this game? Oh, what is this game?" And just talking to people before playing, like that's community. Right, and there was no term for this yet. There was no term for community building. You just made acquaintances and you got to know them a little bit more. You got like it didn't matter what how they look like, what age, demo, none of that stuff. Like where they're from, anything. And just because they played the same game as you, like the level of respect just kind of like it just like way up there. Like, dude, you like the same thing that I do? Like, dude, let's have some fun. It's so sick, dude. It's like, and that was just a daily thing. You go to the the first time I've ever saw like Street Fighter 2 was at a 7-Eleven, and I was 13 or something. Hypnosis. Thank you so much for the raid. So I want to say like 13 or so, and then it's like little arcade games. There was arcade games in the 7-Eleven. That's not unusual, but seeing that game there was. And then I was hungry, so I went to like this corner of the plaza. There was like our like local hamburger joint, right? It was called Bun and Burger. And in that Bun and Burger, I walked over there and I'm like, yo, there's a Street Fighter 2 machine in here. What's going on? You're right, and there's people playing, and since I played at 7-Eleven, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, right? So I went over there and just kind of like watched a little bit, and I played, I lost or whatever, right? And a different set of people, right? Some people just didn't want to talk. I'm like, hey, how you doing? What's up? And they're just kind of like, oh, you gonna play? Okay. Like, all right, we play. So, and then it dawned on me. I'm like, all right, look, if this game is available at our 7-Eleven spots, and freaking burger joint, this has to be at my local arcade. Like, it definitely has to be there. And when I went to my local arcade, it was called Beach and Warner Arcade in Huntington Beach. dude, there was like 15 of these machines, and every single like machine was packed. So I didn't go there the same day. Like I think I went there a couple days after. I was still relatively young, I'm 13, right? So like 13-year-old, walking around in the street. Do kids even do that these days? Like, do 13-year-olds, do they get out of the house and walk to McDonald's, or they just wait for a ride, or they Uber there now? I don't I don't know. I don't know what Hey, look. They probably don't like, but they on TikTok. So okay. Walking around was a thing. Like walking to different like popular blocks was a thing to do. Like, hey, where you going? I'm going to 7-Eleven and get some beef jerky, like Funyuns and Slurpee, and I'm gonna stop by. Like you made those little trips a thing. And so yeah, just fast forward. I'm gonna get to Street Fighter 6 in a little bit. I'm just kind of letting you know the whole basis of community and like how it started, at least in my eyes, and how I kept it going. Like these simple interactions. So like treating people with respect, like they're having a good time. Also being able to read the room too. Like they don't. It seems like they don't want to be approached. You may just cut your conversations really short or don't say anything at all and just move on. But at my local arcade, there was like 15 of those machines. It's just you're a kid at a candy store, dude. I felt like I already loved the arcades, but then I really freaking loved the arcades after that. I'd there was a, I don't know, man. I don't know how they did it, man. It was just everything was so perfect. Like those times was so just. I don't know, man. I wouldn't change a thing. I would not have changed a thing. Like the arcade owner got a jukebox and they played 90s hip hop on that mother. They played 90s hip hop on that stuff, man. And sometimes you would hear, "Oh, here's a bun me." Yo. That is Hypnosis. Thank you so much for subbing. Appreciate it. But walk in there. Sometimes you would hear like freaking MC Hammer, "Too legit to quit." Too legit, right? You would hear Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre up in there, dude. It was popping off, man. It was great, dude. We would play. Just go in there. We got some Gigazords in the house. Oh, bro, yeah. So, thank you so much for supporting the channel, and gifting to Kausas. Enjoy your sub. So, and I lived about a block away from my local arcade. One of them. I went to several arcades, of course. So, and my parents, they work hard, and I don't want. Okay, look, I apologize ahead of time before I ramble on, but woo! We got Nelson in the house. Thank you so much for subbing too. Just going to the arcade and just meeting all these strangers at my local spot, because I didn't think that all these Street Fighters would pop up, like a week before I even saw any of that stuff. It was the typical like high score type games, right? Like the Galicas, Pac-Mans, like games that you just play for the high score. You never really play against somebody next to each other, right? Like Street Fighter 2 was the first game that you just see people playing next to each other. It was just a brand new phenomenon. You're like, wow, what is this? And now, going fast forward back to Comic-Con, and mind you, I have not been to Comic-Con for since 2013. One of my first interactions with somebody at the booth was like, I just see it in their eyes too, right? They may not know who I am, it doesn't matter, but like they're excited to play, and this is how I break the ice. I'm be like, hey, have you played yet? Because a lot of us have been in line, and some people are like circling the line after they play. They may come back, right? I just want to get. I was actually getting data. I was getting data. I'm like, I want to know if he's played yet. So I want to know what level. How much do you know? I'm such a dick, dude. I'm always getting the data, so I'm kind of throwing myself out there. So if I were to happen to talk to you like at Evo or something, don't think I'm just trying to read you and read the data. Unless like we're near the stream stage or the pools and tournament, then I might ask certain questions that are relevant to what I got to prepare for. But when it comes to community, and I was kind of like, busting his balls a little bit. I'm like, hey, so have you played yet? And he goes, oh yeah, I played this already. I'm like, oh, you did? Oh, so you played more than I have. I haven't even played yet. Right? I don't think he knew who I was, but it didn't matter. It was just really funny that it's cool. And then right away I'm like, hey, so like, have you played the Street Fighter series before? And then he mentioned, yeah, I used to play for like 15 years and had a lot of fun. And like they start telling you a little bit of like their life story about this stuff, and like how you guys are hearing me talk about this stuff, right? It just instantly turns interesting. Like you may not care if they're like a DC or Marvel fan or whatever the hell that's craziness that's going on in the actual Comic-Con world, but as soon as they talk about Street Fighter history, you're like, yo, where did you play at? Like, oh yeah, I used to play in LA. You played in LA? Like, how long ago? Because then I have to backtrack the history. So you played, oh man, did you know a guy named Mike Watson? So, Mike Watson, yeah, dude, fuck that guy, he took so many of my no, trust me. There's a lot of conversations where I brought Mike's name in. Is all, dude, that guy is unbeatable. That guy is the best. Wait, are you Alex? Stuff like that. And we would just start shooting the shit. And just because of that interaction, let me tell you, okay, you never know like when you're gonna cross paths with that person again. Or that person may introduce you to even more people to play with. So, in a way, I think it's kind of important that you just be friendly, and be welcoming and try to figure out, like, how are you guys going to get together and play again. All right, so that was OG story time in the middle of all this. So, let's actually talk about some Street Fighter 6 now. So, that video that I showed, yeah, that was my actual first time messing around with the game. And I didn't really I didn't have nobody to hold my phone, so here I'll play this part again. So there's a guy that I said hello to, and social networking in the 90s, yeah. And I was kind of like just busting his balls a bit. I'm like, oh, how long have you played? And he goes, oh, or have you played this already? And he goes, oh yeah, you played. I was like, oh, you played more than I have. And I'm laughing because, like, I know in the back of my head, like, it doesn't matter if he's played one game or 100 games, he's not gonna win. But it's cool. So, oh, boom, 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 boom. What's up, Rotary Lover? 18 months in the house. So yeah. Anyways, instantly I felt. Oh well, okay. So I made it through the line, okay? I didn't just appear there. I had to wait into the line, and then I was, next to him, and I requested a fight stick station, okay? So I requested a fight stick station, and I'm pretty sure he did too, and they called this kiosk to play. And as soon as we played, I noticed that... yeah, it was laggy. I was like, oh, that's right. These are trade show monitors, of course. And, it's not a knock on Capcom. It's just, they got a bunch of games to showcase. So, like, they're just probably got it from a vendor to just like, hey, we want to show the game in, like, 4K. And, we want it at this, size and just make it happen. Okay, cool. And I didn't, I just played around with the moves just to see how it feels. And it was kind of hard to judge, right? Like, because I knew there was, like, some input latency. So I'm like, oh, crap, okay. Then I in the back of my mind, I was thinking, like, hey, I have to adjust to this to get an actual feel. Kind of like even Street Fighter 5. When I played Street Fighter 5 for the first time at a convention, I think I played it at E3. I think it was one of the first times that I played it at a convention, and I felt that type of input delay, but I didn't know if it was real, like if it was that like slippery and stuff like so. Because I know from the Street Fighter 4 era, like nobody knew about this input latency stuff, right? We went from CRT straight to LCD monitor, right? And the LCD monitors, nobody knew like lag yet, like how much lag those monitors actually have. We thought that was the actual speed of the game when you're playing it, right? Nobody knew that shit. So, all right. So I'm like, all right, let me play the game. I'm just kind of like throwing out like the special moves. I'm trying to parry and stuff. Trying to do a couple of mechanics. You only get one game of 2 out of 3, right? 2 out of 3. So and then you have to go back to the end of the line. So I'm like, okay, I got my game, and I went back to the end of the line, and then I waited in line again, and this time I was able to play. I met a colleague of ours that we've worked with with Capcom, same as Andy, and once he saw me there, he goes, "Hey, Valle, how you doing? What you think of the game?" I'm like, "Well, I just played." I told him I just played once, right? And I played at the kiosk, and I told him like, is there a difference between like the kiosk monitors and the stage monitors? I haven't played in the stage monitor, by the way. He goes, yeah, we've heard that the kiosk monitors are like the trade show monitors, so they're not gonna play at like the latency that you're used to normally. He's being nice about it. I'm like, oh, okay, it's understandable. You mind if I can try the stage monitors? And he goes, yeah. I'll tell you what, you can actually just play here and people can just play you. I'm like, I don't know, are you sure, man? I wanted to at least give everybody a chance to play, and not everybody might not have enough time. And he goes, no, don't worry about it, go for it, man. So I'm like, oh, okay, all right. I got the invite. I'm not that type of person to, at least not anymore. Of course, if I was like younger, I'd be like, hey, can I play here? Can I just sit here? Can I just stay here? You know who I am? Nah, I wouldn't. No, you out of respect for people's time, you always ask if it's okay. You a lot of people are waiting in line to play, so you gotta ask. So he said it's okay, and he said it's actually gonna work in everybody's favor because he goes, the line actually might move faster. I'm like, wait, what? Because oh, that's right. And then so I'm like, okay, I get what you're saying. I think because of people's unfamiliarity with the game, and I'm just kind of like watching them, it's gonna move the line quicker. So okay, all right. I do have the first video, and it's in. I asked him like, all right, hey, can you record this match? And this was like the second match I played. Okay, this is the second match that I played, and it was on stage. Okay, mind you, this is like, I didn't know how the monitor or anything felt, so I'm just getting prepared. So let me get that ready for y'all. Give me a second. Okay. No, it's not that one. It's not that one. I kind of skipped it. So this is the first one, all right? This is the first one because that one's towards later, all right? So this is the first one, all right? And you can tell because you've seen it on Twitter.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. You know what I gotta do, man. I gotta do it for the people.
Real.
I gotta do it for the. Oh man, I'm playing his game. I don't even know what he's doing. He already has an advantage.
See the banter?
I mean, you got like 30 years of knowing what this guy does. I don't even know what this guy moves at all.
Yeah, let me know if it comes out all right.
Oh, you face this?
Yeah.
I couldn't move the face. I couldn't move the faces.
Is that
Okay,
vicious?
I picked Ryu.
Yeah.
I had to do it for the people.
Perfect parry.
You see that first try? I got the perfect parry. You see my old ass throwing fireballs in the beginning. Let me see. Can I zone? All right. Let me see what the system mechanics are. All right. Yeah. So this footage was actually on the Twitter, but this is the full match. Twitter, we didn't get the full match. Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about it like after this match plays. Then you know we'll talk about what went down.
Strong crouch me doesn't work.
Where did they hit?
Yes, I of course always have fun, man. Like Street Fighter is a childhood game. You know, it's a favorite pastime. No. I'm all feeling myself because I think I'm kind of figuring out how to counter certain things when I really don't.
I want to see what this character does. Walk into it. You gotta extend the game. You go to arcade. You want to get started around, you know.
Such a fool. Yeah, you guys are able to see this clip on my Twitter, by the way. Most of the matches on there, but not the whole thing. Okay. So yeah, and you know, again, this was on my phone. So Andy from Capcom was holding the phone. And you know, now that I noticed, it's like he has like a really strong hand. He barely moved.
Oh, what? You stopped it? Oh my lord! Hey, I got my book. Oh my god!
You didn't know how to punish me.
Good game. Good game, man. Good game.
Okay. Yeah, it's you're generally against vertical video, but this is at least stable. Yeah, you know, beggars can't be choosers. You know, I can't be like, hey, can you record this for me, and then can you make sure it's landscape, and can you make sure you got your arms steady, and can you like, dude, shut up, bro. Just fucking, just record it, bro. All right, so yeah, let's see if I can play it again. Will it play? Do I really have to go like to a different screen first? All right. Okay, so hold on. I'll play it, but without the audio.
Grand final. Yeah.
Hold on. All right. So, of course, I'm gonna pick Ryu first, and you know, I always test games with Ryu first, just to get the feel of the game. And I know a lot of you ask, like, hey, how does it feel? How does this game actually feel, Valle? Like what would you compare this game to? Okay, now I'm gonna stop it before I move on. Okay. Oh no, it stopped the whole thing. Okay, well, gosh damn it, why did I do that? Okay. Cool. I'll just do it like this. So, yeah. Again, like how does this game feel? Like real talk. Okay, right. So this game, so far, it feels like an improved Street Fighter V. Okay, so you're probably thinking, "Oh gosh, I don't want to hear that word. Why is it? Why are you saying it looks or feels like it?" I'm like, well, remember, I'm saying an improved Street Fighter V. So what I mean by that is that the last or the definitive version of Street Fighter V, how um, the designers have made certain mediums and heavies in Street Fighter V now have a lot more recovery, realistic for whiff punishing, stuff like that. They tone down damage here and there, improve frame data, certain stuff. So I see the direction that they're taking, like the footsie game. Okay, they want you to have opportunities to parry and whiff punish, and not just flail buttons. Okay, in Street Fighter V now, I mean, even some of those buttons are still pretty fast, but if you've been used to the engine of the game, it's much easier to whiff punish a lot of moves. So, and you can totally tell it was Street Fighter 6 when Chun-Li does her heavy punch, and are like, oh man, that's like, it's still a good move. It's still kind of fast, but you can't just like third strike fierce. That shit, you can't do that anymore. So there's some risk. Okay, there's risk. So that's why I'm saying that's one of my examples of an improved Street Fighter V. Whereas Street Fighter V, there's still moves that are really hard to whiff punish. People are kind of just getting away with crouching medium kicks still, and certain mediums. I honestly think any low confirmable moves should be whiff punishable, because that's too much of a reward for damage and Oki. I mean, if you're gonna open up somebody and you have a good crouching medium somewhere, you can't just be sticking that out for free. Come on, man. If you did, yeah, that just is like, just immediately makes that character top tier. Like, it's like, all right, well, shit, we have the Chun-Li issue, right? See, like Chun-Li in Third Strike, amazing crouching medium kick, right? Ryu in like Super Turbo Hyper Fighting, really good medium kicks. But at least those games were more whiff punishable. Third Strike, not really, right? Street Fighter 5. Karen's crouching medium kick was really hard to whiff punish. Like, it was super hard before the patch, right? And the other medium attacks were really hard to whiff punish too. But so that's why I'm saying my example of like the designers making risk reward in normal buttons. They're taking it in the right direction. And another reason I'm saying Street Fighter 6 plays like improved Street Fighter 5 is that when you are doing your pressure, like your medium punch, like you can clearly see some. Here, I'm gonna play like the video. So let me see if I can get an example. Yeah, I tried to test crouching medium kick, fireball. Crouching medium kick fireball is punishable up close, so you have to still space it out. Ryu is definitely negative. It's not a safe string, and I mean, if you don't do it close enough, it's too far away, you're gonna get parried and you're gonna get punished. So, but now, so certain like medium strings, like medium, right? You can still do them, kind of like Street Fighter 5. Like the timing is still easy, right? It's not like Street Fighter 4 or before games where like you have to plink to get the mediums going, or there's a lot more timing involved. So you can still relatively easy. You can still connect mediums and link other mediums fairly easy. However, as I said, it's an improved Street Fighter 5. There's a little bit more pushback now. So that's another example of where why it feels like it plays like an improved Street Fighter 5. So it doesn't play like 4 in regards to how you link attacks or previous games. It's still the feel of it is 5, but you don't feel like you're sticking next to them. Like you're not like Laura where she can do like 4 or 5 hits before now finally she's away. And then she does EX clap and she's back in there, right? So yeah, so if you guys are expecting like Street Fighter 6 to have, one frame links and all that stuff, I don't think that's ever coming back. And I think that's with good reason too, because it was just silly for characters like Vega and Street Fighter 4 to be good with Vega. You must master one frame link combos with him. If you can't do it, it's a worthless character, right? It's just pretty silly. But at least Street Fighter 4 had a lot of combo variations with focus attacks and other mechanics that I'm going to get into. So that's what made the game a little bit more interesting, even with like the crazy hard links. So with 5, your basic links are still fairly easy to do, and they're fun now because we'll get into like why is it actually fun. So you're not just like doing your basic like medium, and then special. That's like the generic part of it, right? If you don't want to waste any special, but you have your overdrive, or you have your drive meter now, where you can add EXs and it only burns that meter. It doesn't use any of your super meter, so you can now, since Third Strike, you can do links into EXs into supers. That has not been in a Street Fighter game since I would say Street Fighter 4, because you can do EX into Ultra, but you can never do EX attacks in Street Fighter 5 into a critical art. Remember, because the EX meter shares your critical art meter. So it's so you have additional combo depth because of that now. In Street Fighter 5, you're tied into V skill, which some V skills don't even combo, right? Or they're used in different ways, or you can't like extend your combos until you get V trigger. So that's not the case with Street Fighter 5, because you get to either start the round right off the bat with, I landed something, I'm gonna go into EX right away. Normally, you don't get access to EX until you build meter. That's another cool thing about the game. Now, I'm going to go into the system mechanics now, because I'll talk about the normals, okay? And how, like, how they go into combos and how they bring more depth to the game. Because I did mention that, like, execution does bring depth to the game. And part of that is how you're going to execute certain combos and counter hit scenarios, punish counter scenarios, and other scenarios too, because you truly have to think about your strategy of how much output you're going to give because of that drive meter. The drive meter is so important. It's super important, because you can like, say somebody Ryu mirror match, okay? Somebody throws a fireball and you want to jump. You jump the fireball. You can jump fierce, medium, EX donkey kick right off the bat. Okay? And then, they're bouncing off the wall and you can do like another EX. So, and that just wastes a pip of drive meter. Okay? It's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. So proximity is not really there. Like they obviously Street Fighter, the devs don't want like big proximity normals anymore. They don't want you to like start blocking 3/4 of the screen because somebody pushes a jab. No, I mean I think they actually done just a better job at you getting in. Walking in is a risk, and we'll get there. We'll get there. All right. So back to the combo depth. Now, there's other ways where you can extend combos off the bat. And this is a part that I didn't have much time to explore. So, yeah, I'm just going to... Let me see. Go back here. So, I didn't get much time to explore with Drive Rush. But let me give you a scenario, though, okay? So, if you guys aren't familiar with Drive Rush is like the FADC of the game. So, say for instance, you want to do, and they're only available in a couple ways. So you can Drive Rush off of a parry stance. So by parrying, you use both medium attacks, the normal parry. So if you want to Drive Rush from it, you dash, okay, and that only wastes one blip of drive meter. So that's going to be really important depending on what you parry, because normally if you just parry normal, you can't really punish anything unless whatever you parry has really poor recovery. Then you can punish normally. But parrying in Street Fighter 5 or Street Fighter 6, excuse me, it does leave you open, okay, because there is a bit of recovery. So you can get thrown, you can get counter punished, right? You can get supered, you can get you can get really messed up if you parry wrong. So going back to Drive Rush, so in that sense, where you can parry into the Drive Rush, you can do that into like with punish scenarios. So say if Chun-Li whiffs that fierce, and instead of doing an attack first to whiff punish it, you want to Drive Rush into the move, get a close hit, and then do another combo, right? I didn't test this, but the theory is there. That's one way to punish the fierce. Another way to punish the fierce that Chun-Li throws, or heavy punch, you can, with Ryu, you can whiff punish with your standing heavy punch, like his big ass freaking punch, and then you Drive Rush out of that punch like an FADC. Like Street Fighter 4, you can kind of go strong fireball into like FADC inward and dash towards. In Street Fighter 6, you do this off of normal attacks. So I'm whiff punishing Chun-Li standing fierce. I Drive Rush into her. Now, so remember, if you whiff punish in Street Fighter 6, they're left in this punish counter state. Now, what it looks like, if you're familiar with like the Dead or Alive series, when somebody tries to parry like a low, but they hit you mid or high, and so they failed, and then they're like, ugh, right? They're like, oh, like they're like super staggering, right? And you can get a bunch of like hits on them. It's kind of like that, okay? So I'm doing fierce. I punish counter Chun-Li. I have enough time to Drive Rush into her and open up another combo, which is pretty freaking sick. So that concept is going to be there with, like, if somebody whiffs some crouch and medium kick, you do that again. You're like, oh, somebody whiffs that move, I'm going to whiff punish it into my Drive Rush. If I have enough meter, remember, if you use Drive Rush, you waste 3 blips of your drive meter. So remember, you have 6 total, okay? So you're halfway, you're almost like burnt out. And if you have more meter, you can get even a bigger punish, right? You can Drive standing fierce, Drive Rush, strong crouching medium kick into EX donkey kick, okay? And then you can probably do another EX move or super afterwards. So, like, that's what I'm saying. You have more depth in combo selection, but you have to think about it. So, like, say I do this stuff, and I'm like the Chun-Li player, whatever, somebody does that shit. If you get punished countered, the opponent loses a blip of drive meter as well. Okay, but the attacker loses 3 doing that whole sequence. Say the attacker gets you into the corner, and they want to do like a drive impact, so that's like 2 blips now left, and the drive impact is not successful, and the opponent parries or hits you back, then he's able to burn you out. So see that's the mini game that you have to think now. Like you can go for like a beefy combo, but the beefy combo is going to cost you resources that are not just specific to your EX meter and your other mechanics, but your ability to get stunned near the corner. Gosh. So like you drive meter is extremely important in that aspect. So later on I found out like, damn, I can do these punishes, but shit, I am almost burnt out now. So if I go in too hard right here, you can probably parry me, drive impact me back, and I'm near the corner and I can get stunned. Because you can get stunned even if you have full health, okay? And I use, the character turns white, okay? Character turns white and their stance is kind of like shaky. They're like, oh, from Ryu being like, yeah, I'm freaking ready, right? To like, oh man, I'm burnt out, bro. I'm burnt out. Leave me alone. If you're near the wall and Ryu gets drive impact, which is the focus attack, you get bumped into, well, you've seen it, right? You get bumped into the wall, and when you come in, you get stunned. That's off of if you're in burnout. If you're not in burnout state, you can still get kind of crumpled juggled into the wall, but you don't get stunned. So the opponent can drive impact you near the corner, and they can get an additional combo off you. So, and before people like say, hey, isn't that kind of cheap? Like, how do you beat this then? How do you beat drive impact when I'm near the corner? So there's various ways you can do it. One, you can, if you see somebody just doing a raw drive impact back. you'll get that like little slow motion, like right? Like you messed up. You should never do raw drive impact near the corner. Like especially when both players are just kind of like walking around, the person that is trying to do the drive impact to the guy in the corner, it's easily countered by another drive impact. That's the easiest way to counter it. Other ways you can counter it, you can neutral jump it and get a full combo punish. Other ways you can punish it is by doing 3 hits or super. And last but not least, by throw. You can throw it too. Okay? You can parry. Of course you can parry. Which is the more skillful part. You can perfect parry. I don't know if you get a punish off of standard parry, to be honest. Drive impact is safe on block. Yes, it's unlike focus attacks. There's like a bump from impact. Like if you drive impact gets blocked, you bump each other away. Okay. But yes, there's many counters to drive impact. So just if people are if you can read that they're doing it near the corner, you can get a big, like, you can counter it big time, like on reaction. There's other ways that you can sneak it in, like you can cancel normals into drive impact, so it kind of messes up the timing a little bit. So there's like little nuances like that you gotta watch out for. So it's is there canceling the drive impact? No. Once you're in drive impact, you're locked in to do it. Okay. So St. Cola with the rate of 18. Thank you, my man. Appreciate it. Okay. So can you super or EX the drive impact? You can definitely super if it has multi hits. And EX, no, because, well, unless your EX has a bunch of, if it has more than 3 hits, if it's 3 hits or more, you can break it, because drive impact absorbs 2 hits. Okay, so You should have seen it in like the first video that I played. So now, let's just go into the other videos now. There's this video that I played Vicious for the first time on the sticks. So, oop. Whoa. Actually, let's yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so see, like, he canceled the parry into drive rush. That's the green glow that he moved forward with. Yes, Jamie has Rekkas. There, I charged up meter. See, yeah. See, I have the Denjin charged, but I don't want to get rid of it because I want to combo with it or hit him up close. Because it's pointless to throw fireballs in 3/4 screen or farther, because they're super easy to parry and it just builds drive meter. Oh, he hit me into the wall. Boom. Gets free combo. See, I got bumped into the wall. Look, I drive impact. Actually, he drive impact back. Fighting Vicious with Vicious commentary. How'd you know? How'd you know? How'd you know? This is the next round. I hit his drive rush. I didn't hit like his drive impact. So that time I only parried once, but it was I was able to parry multiple hits. Punish counter. I could have definitely got more, but you know, I'm like, oh, I get just a normal. I played so basic, trying to figure some stuff out. See, look, I'm playing Street Fighter 5, standing medium punch, and trying to walk in. And I'm trying to find like, okay, what's a good spacing? But as you can see, the hits, right? Like, there's more pushback on them than normal. Ryu's limbs are pretty long. If you haven't noticed. That's a sweep. Ryu has a hop kick too with forward and heart kick, which is pretty dope. Yeah, you gotta be careful on how you activate the Denjin, because it's actually very punishable. Like, I think you can only activate it when you EX or get a hard knockdown. How was the response time on the buttons? On the stage, it felt better. I don't know if it's optimized yet, though, to be honest. Like, it's definitely better than the kiosks. See how I did 2 hits and he still drive impact me. So like, they can opponents can get a read on you if they know that you're gonna do crouch and medium kick fireball. See, I can't just activate Denjin. Like, I have so much startup. Yep, and in the corner, I gotta watch out for his drive impact because he can juggle me off of that. Yeah, I wasn't even doing supers yet. Like, I was too worried. I was too like focused on the system mechanics first. Like, you think like I would have so much time to play. I didn't. You know, it's just like I was focusing on the fundamentals of the game before like adding all the craziness. Yeah, Jamie's pressure is really dope. Yeah, look at that. Safe. Could have uppercutted there, but wasn't ready. Tried to parry just because. I was doing hop kick. Look at that. That crouching medium kick is so far. Love it. Yes, I found out that standing medium kick is freaking mad far. Yeah, I didn't know any optimal combos yet. Look, he drive impact me back because he saw that. He did it on reaction. So that's why I say you can't just drive impact somebody when they're near the corner. I did a reversal there. GG's. Yeah. So I mean, there was there were some okay things to look at from those matches, and some of them are already explained, like the drive impact collision. I told you ways how you can counter it, and the game is not final, so I don't know if they're gonna speed it up, slow it down, absorb multiple hits or one hit. Like none of this stuff is final. And I know that like the Street Fighter V's beta or whatever version they had at the trade shows, like you can link medium punch, standing light punch, standing medium punch, crouching hard kick. That was a Ryu bread and butter link combo. You could not do that when the game came out. So, but yeah. So for what I played. You know, the counters of neutral jumping to drive impact, like if you see a drive impact come to you, you can drive impact it back. You can parry it. And sometimes you can get a perfect parry off of it. I've gotten a perfect parry before. I don't know though if you can punish with a standard parry. I think the bump off, whatever the pushback that it has, probably doesn't let you. And then you can multi-hit the drive impact as long as you hit the opponent for the third time before they execute the move. So some supers have multi-hits, sure, you know, like I'm pretty sure you can hit it. You can throw it. I've seen it being thrown too. Yeah. This game doesn't seem to have much focus on links. No, that's not true. You can definitely link various things. So what I found out is that you can combo. They made certain combos easier where Ryu solar plexus. So I found this out. You can't solar plexus into normal. I think unless like you get a punish counter. That's something that I have to go back and see if that worked. But for sure, you can't do solar plexus raw into DP. You can't do solar plexus into links anymore. So what they did was you go solar plexus and cancel it from there. So you can do solar plexus into donkey kick right away. Like it just combos that way. Yeah. You can combo solar plexus into specials now. Yep. Can you cancel drive impact? You cannot. No. You can cancel your parry into drive rush. Yes. So all right. Let's talk a little bit more about the other system mechanics. So the I think that what they call the drive reversal, the VR of the game, it's pretty standard. Like you block something and then you medium back and you bump them off. So you can't really kill with that. So that was a question a lot of people asked too. Like, are there chip kills in the game? Only if the drive meter is depleted. You can chip kill someone. So I don't know if that's gonna stay in the build. I think that's. It looks like it might stay. I mean, it makes sense. Like you don't have drive meter anymore. You have like your defense looks kind of whack from like getting ready to like fight to like oh man, oh Hadouken, oh man, I'm out of breath. Oh man, burnout. Yes, on burnout. On burnout, you can get chipped out. Okay. I already talked about like drive impact. I talked about the parry. So one other thing about parrying, it wasn't a walk in the park. Like to to go for a perfect parry like in the beginning, and the reason being is because the animations looked very different. You know, they're like the game like is smooth, man. It looks really beautiful, right? So, but I have to figure out like, hey, is this a Street Fighter 5 kick? Is it a Street Fighter 4 kick? A 3 kick? A classic 2? So I got hit a lot trying to perfect parry anti-air. Okay? And then I thought like, you know what? Maybe that's not worth it because okay, I get a perfect parry anti-air and then I uppercut anyways. Like I don't. Yeah, I would get drive meter back doing it, but I should just anti-air normally. Okay? Then on the ground, I was trying to perfect parry things here and there, and I was actually fairly good at it because I play Ryu in Street Fighter 5. So in Street Fighter 5, like there's certain block string patterns that people do that I know I can parry. Like say for instance if I'm playing a Ryu mirror match in Street Fighter 5 and somebody knocks me down, they dash in, they do crouching medium punch, and then they try to do another medium punch. I can parry that because otherwise I can't jab him out of that frame trap, like even with my 3 frame. So I can parry. Anyways, that works. And sometimes I got a perfect parry off that timing because I know like people tries to do 2 medium attacks, which are pretty much the same timing, but there's a little bit of a gap. So just enough to where you can parry. And then other times I just got the regular parry, and I can't do anything. Right? I'm just like, okay, I kind of blue parried, and I let it go and I got hit. You can hold down the parry. And parry multiple hits, and it slowly reduces your drive gauge. Okay, I think the intention of the standard parry or the regular parry is to build your drive gauge. So, one thing to notice is if you're playing Street Fighter 6 Ryu mirror matches, it's completely pointless to throw fireballs 3/4 of the screen or more, because everybody has access to parry, and it's just the easiest thing to do. You're like, oh, throw fireball, going. Even if you charge Denjin parry, you're gonna charge Denjin parry, you're gonna throw it from over there, build my meter, baby, or I just hold it down. You don't even have to tap it twice now. They just made it that much easier. Okay, which is fine, but when you're closer, then you got to think about it. You're like, all right, can I react to the parry that close or not? So that matchup changes a bit. Okay, so everybody has to get used to playing Street Fighter 6 like if they were Street Fighter 5 Gil or Ryu. So like you'll understand too. Like you're like, oh, I have access to parry as Chun-Li. I have access to parry as Jamie and Guile and all these characters. Oh, okay. So if you actually want to practice like what that feels like, if you never like parried, go mess around in Street Fighter 5 and just kind of like say, oh, hey, here's my parry. And it's not saying that you can punish the same way, but just know that I think the future of the fundamentals of this game is people knowing the perfect parry timing, and perfect parries guarantees you damage. And unlike in Street Fighter 5, Gil, you can parry a light and you can punish, but Ryu cannot. So Ryu has to parry kind of a slower medium attack or heavy in order to follow up with a punish. Okay. In Street Fighter 6, if you do a standard parry versus a normal, you can never punish. Okay. However, if you get a perfect parry, you can punish with whatever you want, and the screen slows down all nice and it looks dramatic. It's great. So I think that is if you want to call it a comeback mechanic, or if you want to call it like that new thing that can deter you from playing the way you want to play. It's like, man, I can't do my strings because this guy is just gonna randomly parry in between my shit, and he's gonna blow me up with like full drive gauge and all this. So, yes, that's actually something that you have to worry about. Anybody can go for that, if you want to call it lucky parry or parry timing, and make you look like you're screwed. Like, oh shit, here it comes. So I think that part of the game is gonna make people kind of hesitate a little bit more in their strings. So you're gonna do the frame data stuff. You're gonna look at the frame data. Like, all right, if I do this move, I'm going this move. They can't parry that no matter what. But if I change it up to this, there's a little bit of a parry window. You're gonna have to start second guessing yourself a little bit, because every character can punish you in some way. Yep. What else? Monkyo sub. Oh, I didn't see that. Thank you so much for the sub. Perfect parry. Yeah, so perfect parries I think are the future of this game. And I think they implement it in a skillful way, because you only have like a few frames to do it. When I went for it, like when I truly went for it, there was times where I'm outside of my first stage match, I missed a lot. You know, I got hit, I got clipped, I got punish countered. I didn't parry anything, like they didn't push anything, and I'm just like, oh, right. So they can easily punish counter me, and I'm at risk. So, you know, there's the risk reward is better in this game. When I mentioned earlier, going into Street Fighter 6, that it is an improved Street Fighter 5. So Street Fighter 5, like I already talked about, like the pushback and things that are, you can punish better. You can punish certain moves better. Street Fighter 6, you can punish moves a little bit better. There's better pushback. So that's called risk reward, by the way. You can't just kind of be flailing buttons and get away with it. For the most part, I don't know if they're going to speed them up or not. You know, this is the trade build. And then now there's an additional layer where even when you're close, so you might be good at the footsie range and with punish things, but then the other player might be good at the parry game. And they just know the timing of what you're going to do, and like, shit, this guy's good at parrying, so I need to switch up to throwing. Like, now we can play that game. So that's what I really like about Street Fighter 6 is you have access to all the battle mechanics. Okay, you have all of them, except the supers, and that's the ones that you have to build over time, which is fine. Supers serve a different function. They're damage based. They're damage based attacks versus how you play in neutral, and you have access to parry, perfect parry, drive, impact, drive rush, VR. All this stuff is available right away, and Street Fighter has not had all the system mechanics available to you since Street Fighter Alpha 2. Okay, if you don't believe me, Street Fighter Alpha 2 was the last Street Fighter game where every battle mechanic was available to every character. Because Alpha 3 you had to pick an ism, X-ism, A-ism, V-ism, okay? We don't count, CVS 2, even though it's pretty damn close to a Street Fighter game. But even though, if you count that, you have grooves, okay? Street Fighter 3, you select a super art. It's not much, but you select 3 different super arts, okay? In Street Fighter 4, it started as all the... That game actually started with one Ultra, right? And everybody had access to everything. And that's why everybody enjoyed Street Fighter 4. Because you had access to everything. And then, I'm not saying it got worse, but like... Then they started adding more craziness. Like now you can pick 2 ultras. Okay, Street Fighter 5 you pick different V skills and different V triggers. So, I think, to be honest, like the games that I had most fun with are the games where I had all the mechanics ready, because you can explore more with so many tools in the neutral before supers are even there. Right? Alpha 3 you had super right off the bat. like you have supers right off the bat. And if you don't have a Vism character, you're already at a disadvantage unless you play one of the super top tier A groove characters like a Dhalsim or something. And it's just it limits you to pick only the best groove, only the best V trigger, only the best ultra all the time, and that's kind of it kind of defeats the purpose of trying to balance out those games. Like you don't get the full depth of the game with everything. You just kind of like have to pick the best thing all the time, and that takes away from the developer's vision, right? Like, oh hey, this loadout is just optimal versus all the matches, Okay, so that's what I liked about Street Fighter 6 battle mechanics. They're available to you right off the jump. Okay, except supers. You have to build them up. If you guys forgot how the supers work, you have 3 different supers, and this is another cool feature that they have where in the past when you have multiple super meters, so you have up to 3. Okay, 3 gauges of super. Okay, in the past, like the Alpha series, if you had multiple supers, you can do level 1 super fireball, level 2 super fireball, level 3 super fireball. It just adds more hits, more damage. So in Street Fighter 6, they changed that to level 1 for certain characters is a unique super. So for Ryu, it's his Shinku is his level 1. Level 2 is his I think it's called the Hashingo, whatever. There's a big ball double palm move. It just like charges up. That is level 2, and then his level 3 is his Shinsho. Now, where there's depth into that is where you can use whatever supers you have available to you. So say you have 3 supers, okay? Utility-wise with Ryu, nobody can ever jump in from 3/4 of the screen or whiff something. I can just throw Super Fireball 3 different times. So I have 3 level 1 supers. I have 3 Shinku Hadouken supers. Alright? Or let's just say I get the combo, right? I'm up close and I need that big damage and I have level 3. Then I'm going to use my Shinsho instead. So I think that's really dope. I think the versatility of having options to use different supers is really good for how you approach matchups. So sometimes, like if I'm Ryu and I can never get in on a character or whatever, I can never use my Shin Shoryuken. That was a problem, right? That was a problem in Street Fighter 4. Nobody picked the Shinsho, right? Like, because there's more utility with the Shinku, the Mets Fireball, the 8-hit one, versus because you have to. There's only a certain opportunities where you can land the Mets Shinshoryuken, right? In Street Fighter 4, so it was kind of pointless to use that Ultra. So everybody used the Fireball Ultra. And this, you have an option to use both. And I mean, obviously the Shinku doesn't do as much damage, but the utility is amazing. That's depth to me. The battle mechanics, to have that ability to have, it's not tied to V trigger gauge. It's not well, okay, there's one thing that's tied to low health is they give a little buff to your level 3 super. Like everybody has like a critical super when their health is low, like less than 30%. So Ryu has like this the lightning version of his Denjin Shinshoryuken. It electrifies you. Jamie does the neck like breaker, right, with his like esophagus killer or whatever they call it. So So yeah, so like there's that, but overall you get to pick how you're going to approach the neutral. Oh, I need a super that's gonna help me get through fireballs. I have a super that is I need a kill time. Time is running out, so I'm gonna just throw shit around and just gonna kill more time. And then, oh man, I need a big damage super. I have my level 3, so I have to charge it up. I love that about Street Fighter 6. I love that I have those options versus shit, I gotta. The only way I can do anything is if I get to this one spot. If I, I wish I would have picked this other loadout versus, whatever the guy has. It's just, I hate it. I hate where you're limited in options. And Street Fighter 6 just doesn't do that. It's just like, hey, you know what? Here's everything. You just have to be conscientious of how you spend it. Cool. Next thing. I talked about system mechanics. I talked about the supers. I talked about how the game feels. So remember, there's no one frame links. It's like Street Fighter 5 style where you can easily connect mediums to mediums and to other attacks. Okay. The parrying, normal parries are easy. But there, you still have to play the whole footsie game. You can't just be flailing buttons. Whiff punishing is good. The limbs are longer in certain characters. Ryu's limbs are really good. They feel really nice. Standing medium kick is a damn long ass toe punt. Is really good. He hurts. His standing light kick, standing light punch is really far too. Yeah, and he can buffer like those standing light kick into any attack. The things that you are used to already in 5. Like he can stick out standing light kick and buffer into whatever special. So those things are still in there, and it seems like it's you can do that from a little bit farther away because characters look bigger. The pushback is better too, so you're not. It doesn't feel like you're getting Laura'd, or you're getting minus I think Jamie has attacks that kind of close in the gap that are somewhat safe. I don't know the full frame data. Like he has like a Rekka, but overall the moves don't feel like they're glue. Okay. Next, let's just talk about some of the characters. I already talked a lot about Ryu already. Out of every character outside of Ryu, what I think is like the most interesting for me is Chun-Li. And unfortunately, I didn't get any footage of Chun-Li, but Chun-Li, so she has a stance. Okay, she's never had a stance in any of the Street Fighter games, and the stance is pretty damn interesting because she gets a new normal attack off of the stance. So she has, in addition to her 6 buttons, you go into the stance, she has 6 more. So she has 12 neutral, 12 neutral attacks. 12 damn neutral attacks. That's pretty wild, right? Yeah, so she kind of goes into a Shiryu stance. And another cool thing about that stance that she has is she can block from the stance. So I assumed that you couldn't. So I'm like, oh shit, if I go into a stance, am I screwed? Like, no, you can block. So yeah, you can block from the stance. She's got a lot of things that can counter your opponent from that stance. Like she's got her, if she hits roundhouse, she has her old school like linear kick that she kicks high, right? And it launches you. She's got like a little low kick. She's got like a sweeping. It looks kind of like her crouching roundhouse, but she's got she turns her body more with the legs. And then her fierce button is her overhead. So she has an overhead off the stance. And her medium punch button is she can do the slide like that's in Street Fighter 5. That low slide. I forgot what the jab does. So it's a lot to remember. Okay, I forgot what the jab does, but the other cool thing with Chun-Li is that she can cancel her normals into the stances. So I think it's negative though, not like punishable negative, but enough to where she can't just lock you down into the stances. But and there's some specific ranges where she can go into the stance and then start playing footsies with you. She can go overhead. She can wait for you to push a button and then punish you. Right? There's little things like that. So that's why I think it's a really interesting character. Just kind of like diving into her. But then I was able to catch up on some of the videos of things that people were doing. She's a combo maniac. she her anti-air is down medium kick, and she does up kicks. You know the in Alpha 2 when you charge down, or even Super Turbo, charge down and you do flash kick. That move, that shit's just down kick, down medium kick. So yeah. Anti-air is amazing. Her normals are great. She can stance cancel. She has a lot of tools to play with. Her fireballs are good. Like her EX fireballs are fast, and they win a lot of fireball wars. Like so, it's kind of like free pressure. Even in Street Fighter 5, when she does the EX fireball, she can chase it. She can definitely do it in Street Fighter 6. So yeah, she is really interesting to me because Chun-Li. Okay, so Chun-Li was actually my first character in Street Fighter 2, and the reason being is because I didn't know any of the special moves. There was no move list, all right? And, I picked her playing computer, and I jumped in kick, and I was just pushing kick, and then lightning legs came out. I'm like, oh, okay, and I know how to do this, so and I think I'm top shit, doing it. But that didn't really last long. And then I didn't play Chun-Li again until probably... Even though I know she was freaking top tier in Alpha 2, I didn't even play her that much there. But Third Strike, because I knew she was all top tier and I was really competitive in that game. But it was still not that interesting of a character for me. Like, I think outside of Street Fighter 6, CVS 2 Chun-Li was actually the most interesting version of her, in my opinion. Like, that character was dope. They really designed her, like, perfectly in that game. It's just she had a lot of options. But in 6, not saying that she plays like that in 6, but it reminds me of how much options and depth that character has. She has a lot of cool air juggles too. So she can, depending on how she juggles you, she can do her tiptoe in the air into air super too. Does a lot of damage, man. She has damage everywhere. Ground, air, great normals. I think she might be, at least in this build, she seems pretty high. Like, I don't know the tiers, but she seems like a really good character. Ryu seems like a really good character. I think Jamie, it comes with a bit of learning the techniques and stuff. And then like Luke, that's like the character I didn't play much at all, but. I mean, we were kind of playing him on Street Fighter 5, but I was more focused on the first 3. But yeah, Chun-Li is really interesting to me. Jamie is cool too, so not saying that he's not interesting, but Jamie's got swag. That character is freaking probably the best developed character. Like out of all the characters, look wise, like that character is legit. Like he can charge up his drinking. Key from kind of like Ryu, like Ryu charges up his like Denjin. Jamie can do that too, and when Jamie gets to I think like over 4 drinks, he lets his hair down like Nakali, and goes ham and just extends like all these combos and does a lot of damage. Like everything does a lot, like because the combos are extended, does a grip of damage, and so. The cool thing is like these characters like Chun-Li, like I explained, like there's a lot of moves that she has now, all this versatility, all this. Okay, that's like the black and white version of the game. Now add all the system mechanics too. That's why it's so fun to talk about, because like you can theorize on what you can do. Like, oh, all right, I may not be that good in like the footsie game, but I'm hella good at parrying and drive impacting, and I can get in close. Like I can strategize for my, you know, to compensate for my weak strategies. Like you couldn't do that as much in the old games because, or you have to have a really strong foundation in order like to compete. But like this, like you have so many different avenues to approach a match. And I don't know. Maybe it's because Street Fighter V just kind of put us in like this sandbox where everybody's doing the same combos, everybody's doing the same optimal string, everybody's doing like it's hard to differentiate certain players' characters in that game because like I think everybody's reached a level with it. Like there's a lot of good players in Street Fighter V, but like they're for a lot of them are there's some differentiators, but a lot of them are doing the same thing. In 6, you're gonna probably see a more like unique playstyles. That's for sure. Yeah. All right. I know some of you guys are asking questions. I'm just gonna almost wrap it up with other thoughts about like Street Fighter 6. So I talked about like the characters now. Like I talked about Ryu. I talked about Chun-Li. I talked about Jamie. I talked about the outside of like their move sets. The battle mechanics are going to also add additional layers to what you want to do. You're not tied to a V trigger or any of that stuff anymore. You have everything available to you right away. So I'm not gonna talk about like the other modes of the game because I'm merely talking about the gameplay right now. So yeah, I guess you know it's 1:00. I know I've been talking about for all this stuff for about an hour, so I can take some questions now. I know some of you guys have been asking questions. So is there a meterless reversals? You always have to have a drive gauge. So all the system mechanics are tied to the drive gauge, except the supers. The supers are below, and that's just tied to the super gauge. Okay. In this game, because all the tools are on the table, we will have styles. Yes. Comeback system is nerfed. Yes and no, because I consider like the parry the ultimate comeback mechanic because you can always come back at any time. It's true. Like there's no like you can wake up and parry. You can block and red. Well, you can't block and red parry in Street Fighter 6, but in Third Strike there was always a way to come back. So at least in Street Fighter 6 there's no red parries, but there's still perfect parries. Perfect parries are a way to get that damage back. Yeah. Okay. Does Alpha Counter seem worth the 2 bars with how much pushback there is now? That's a good question. It's because not many reversals were used. Because we were like when you first play Street Fighter games, you want to like start attacking. You want to see, all right, what's the best offensive way to get in there? How do I rush shit down? And knowing that like reversals don't really do like damage, they do like the gray, right? But they don't really do damage. They knock back far away, but I think it's good. Just to get some breathing room. That's always the thing. But I think in a way they did nerf it to where it's you're gonna waste drive meter, and drive meter that gets you closer to burnout. So you gotta pick and choose. You gotta pick and choose like what your strategy is. Maybe I can tell you this. Maybe you're in the lead, and one way to timer scam is to use your V reversals or your drive reversals. So that's always that's always in. Okay. Any more questions? If anybody has any questions, just let me know. Just ping my name into the chat, or the Level Up Live name, and I can. Who wants to listen to some jams while we like talk about this? Hold on. Let me turn is. Okay. Is solar plexus plus on block? No, definitely not plus on block. Is Guy in the game? No, Guy is definitely not. Well, I don't know. Guy is not in the build that I played. Jamie Song slaps? It does. It does. Jamie Song does slap. Offline Wednesday night fights coming back for 6. I hope so. You know, I mean, there's still quite a bit of time before 6 rolls around. So, Shock. Let's see here. Shock Turn 8 says, I know a lot more questions coming in. With parries and these drive impacts and stuff, do you have any guesses what grapplers are going to be like or what they need to be decent? Grapplers are going to be scary because parrying is a skill, right? For like just by experience and understanding what the timings are of your opponent's best frame traps, you know, your opponent, your actual personal opponent, if you know like their strategy and you know like their favorite bread and butter or cross-up block string, all of that matters. And all the, like, say Geef in Street Fighter 5, like they're pretty good. Like the good Geef players, they're really good at flexing already. So you can imagine if they know your attack pattern, they're gonna get perfect parries and they're gonna do a lot of damage. So that's gonna be a threat, and that's gonna be interesting to deal with. What are throws like? I hope no more pseudo throw loops. You can back roll off of you can tech roll off of throws and you're pretty far away, so you can't throw loop. Can you drive rush fireballs? So you can parry into drive rush. So yes, because there's 2 ways to drive rush. You can drive rush off of a parry, or you can drive rush off of a normal. Okay. Am I gonna be at Evo? Yes, I'm gonna be at Evo. I'm not sure how much time I'm gonna have on the floor. I'm be kind of busy, my man. Yeah, this year I got a lot of stuff to do, like behind the scenes and stuff. Shenkan, I'll repost above. Not sure. We most spoke a moment. Japan Expo. Matt Edwards said, "You can't parry. Stop. You can't parry to stop chip kill on low health." There was a situation where someone did a projectile super, and the parry didn't work. I didn't test that, so I don't see. That's the thing. Like, I don't know if you can prevent yourself from getting chip killed if you're not in burnout state, or if you are in burnout state. So I don't know the system there. But that's interesting and something to explore at Evo. So thank you, Shenkan. Do backdashes keep the same properties as in Street Fighter 5? Yeah, movement can be countered, like puts you in some sort of a counter hit state. But I'm not sure if it changes during recovery or in the middle of it. You know what I mean? Because remember, there's punish counters in the game, and if you whiff punish something, you get a punish counter. If you counter attack somebody, that's a counter hit. So I don't know which state for when you're dashing. If you hit them while they're dashing, I don't know what state that is. Or if you hit them when they recover, I don't know what state that is. So yeah, these are good questions, but it's something to explore too. How is zoning gonna be with parrying around? It's like Street Fighter 5 Ryu mirror match, or Ryu versus Ryu versus Gil. Like, get familiar with that match in Street Fighter 5. It's gonna be the same way. You can't just throw fireballs 3/4 of the screen with somebody that has access to parries. Like in 6, it actually gives the person that parries an advantage because they build drive gauge back. Mr. Crimson, you could use drive rush with specials and throws. Any truth to this? You can use drive rush with normals that I know of. I have not tried drive rush off of specials. I don't think you can do that off of throws, because you throw, that's it. You can't like drive rush cancel. That would be insane. Yeah. What game does Street Fighter 6 feel like the most all overall? It feels like an improved Street Fighter 5. So it's not like classic Street Fighter. Modern Street Fighter is no more like classic Street Fighter. So, right. So our foundation now for modern Street Fighter games comes from 4, and it goes to 5. 5 is the new foundation now. However, I said earlier that 5 is, or at least 6, is an improved version of Street Fighter 5, whereas you don't feel like you can just keep flailing buttons and get away with it. You know, there's more pushback, a little bit more pushback on blocked attacks. So, and there's no one frame links, so you can easily connect like mediums together, and you don't have to spend ridiculous time in training mode to. I know some of you guys that like the one frame links, but like those days are over too. Okay. Anything new with Guile? No, there was just not a Guile build, so Guile was not available at the Comic-Con build. Okay. Is Street Fighter 6 a beginner friendly game? Yes, because it is more so than other games because there's access to modern controls. And that's one thing I didn't really talk about. So modern controls. So the plus side of it is you get access to the special moves by tapping a direction and a button, right? And then also there are some certain combos where you can just like mash heavy and they'll give you like a full-fledged combo. I think which combo it was, but and it's pretty decent damage. You can kind of, if somebody whiffs an uppercut and you don't want to like do the fierce or strong into the fierce into the whatever, right? You just mash light or you mash medium and you'll get like a set combo for you. So I think that part of it is a Street Fighter it's a beginner friendly like mode, but the drawback, you don't get access to all the moves, so you gotta pick and choose. I mean, it's supposed to be for like, once you've kind of like, all right, I got my feet wet with the modern controls, I want to do what the pros are doing, so I want to go into the classic controls where I have access to everything and better optimize combos and everything. That's where I want to go. So you got your 10 a.m. pool. Yep, I think across the board 10 a.m. pools are for everyone at Evo. Not everyone, but like they don't do 8 a.m. pools anymore. Did the game look as good as I expected? The game looked better in person, way better. It's so smooth looking. It looks great. Like they did a really good job visually with this game. It looks a lot better than Street Fighter 5. I'll tell you that. I mean, it's supposed to. It's definitely supposed to. Nothing with Guile in Street Fighter 6. Electrifying one. So no new details to share. Deli Ninja. So what's the details on the downsides of modern input? So again, you don't get access to all the normal attacks because you have to tap a direction and the button. You know what I mean? So, and then also like when you're trying to do some sort of like optimal combo, you're kind of limited because one of the buttons is reserved for a special. So like you're trying to do like strong into fierce, right? But that fierce button is a special, so you kind of cut your combo short. But in you shouldn't do it that way anyways in modern controls. If you want to optimize your modern control combos, you just mash one of the same buttons, and then they'll give you a set combo. Okay. Yeah, I think I caught up with all the questions. In terms of modern controls, can they... Okay, so Voynark asks, can they be used to your advantage in competitive play? No. They cannot be used in advantage because... Well, I know I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here saying this, but I'm going to say it anyways. You won't be able to do a walking flash kick with Guile. You're going to have to at least hold down for 2 seconds and then most likely push the special button, and then you'll get the attack. So, and also you only get one speed, right? You get one speed with your specials too. That's another drawback of the modern control scheme. Versus the classic, you get, you know, light, medium, and heavy versions of the special attacks. So, okay. Question: how does the dash of Drive Rush work compared to a normal one? The Drive Rush dash seems like a Street Fighter V dash, like a Ryu dash. Vroom! It's really fast. So I don't know the properties. Like, I don't know the frame data. I don't know if I'm plus on block. It would say if I'm Ryu and you block my heavy punch, and then I Drive Rush into you, I don't know if I'm plus or minus after that. Because you don't know and I don't know, it's plus. It's plus on me. Fuck it. I'm just like, yes, it's plus. Until we actually know, you know, we'll figure it out. Like that's the beauty about like learning fighting games off like feel, is you can get away with a lot of stuff that people don't know about. So like, yeah. Hey dude, that looks plus as hell. I'm like, yeah, I know, huh? Watch it be negative. Yeah. Okay, what do I think of Ryu's new move? I didn't get to explore too much of it. All I know is that you have to use the EX version in order to extend your combo. I don't think your plus or that plus at all if you just try to use it as a block string. And you got to be careful because there's a gap. If you try to do like standing medium punch is block, you do crouching medium kick into the new move, like there's a gap and they can parry that. They can perfect parry. I got my shit perfect parried. Okay, so I wouldn't use it nilly, you know, just doing it like that. If you want to extend your combo, you could. I think I've seen that EX version of the new move into EX donkey kick and then ender. So, is there anything I would like to change for the final build? Too early to say, to be honest, because I'm still learning the game. I only have like maybe one design suggestion. Like Ryu's fireball just needs to be a little bit bigger. Like right now, it's like my man's running out of steam, dude. Hadouken! And it's like a little pebble. It's not that small, but I think that they're just trying to make the fireball visually, like the hitbox, be a bit more visual than when it's normally like a little fat ball and Honda can like neutral jump on it. Yeah, so I think they're just trying to make it visually detectable. But iconic wise, you know, it would be great if they just increased the size of it a little bit. Option selects still in Street Fighter 6. Option selects will always be in fighting games. It just depends on how useful they'll be against certain mechanics. Okay, so like, say for instance, like in V Shift, you can option select V shifts, but you know, you can option select and like backdashing also, and like to get out of like certain throw scenarios in Street Fighter 5. Yeah, so there are option selects. It just, again, it depends on how useful the defense or offense versions are going to be. Like, yeah, it might be pointless to just option select with like a poor backdash or something, right? I don't think the backdashes aren't invincible, so it's no point using them there. You know, yeah. So again, I don't. So far, I don't see it changing drastically, or option selects being like too viable, because everything is kind of like like you can. You don't have to worry about an exploiting battle mechanic that you have to option select to cover that end, if you know what I mean. All right, do you find any other CC normals? I know they require punish counters and whatnot. Just try. Oh, that's a good question. I've seen Ryu's roundhouse puts you in like a crumple state on counter hit. It looks like a crush counter, right? Yeah. So that's a good question. I don't know what they are for other moves. Yeah. Everything is plus until you prove that it isn't. Street Fighter 6 felt really smooth on PlayStation 5. On the stage it did. With that monitor on the kiosks, you can definitely tell that's a trade show monitor. Okay. Is there a Street Fighter 6 build at EVO? Yeah, Capcom did announce Street Fighter 6 will be at EVO, so it's gonna be a long line. So y'all better make those 2 days at EVO worth it. Get in that line, get your games in. Did I tell the devs about the Ryu Fireball? I made a tweet about it, and it got a lot of traction. So, hey, look, if people talked about Luke and his shoes, I'm sure they've read my post about Ryu and the Fireball. Okay, so yeah, you just want to see the Hugo again, of course. So I think Drive Impact is going to be strong, with it being throwable, parryable. That's a good question too. I mean, let's just say we've been through the focus attack era with Street Fighter 4, so it's not like a new attack that's incoming. So we're more aware of like how to deal with it. However, it has 2 hits of armor now though, so it can still catch obvious offensive strings or defensive strings. Okay, and it's good to and it's safe on block because you get that little bump pushback. So it's just a matter of the opponent being skilled enough to truly counter it. They want to go for the parry, neutral jump. So I think that's the cool part of it. Like, in order to counter it, there's some skill involved. It's not like, oh, hey, they did it. Let me do my instant counter to Drive Impact. No, there's experience involved. Like, you have to get many games. You got to go to the lab, and you have to actually put in some work to punish these things. Okay. I think I did a pretty decent job in answering a lot of your guys' questions. I want to explore more with the game for sure. There's still a lot to explore. I definitely want to explore with the drive rush system. I think that's super interesting. I need to play Luke now. I didn't get to play him much. More Jamie. I played more Ryu and Chun-Li than the other characters. Did Shin Shoryuken catch jumpers, or is it still like Street Fighter 3 where it does a few air hits? You have to be within proximity to get the full animation. And you can, and if you're far away, you'll get like the multiple hits. What I've seen, which was interesting, is somebody perfect parried the Shinsho, like the first hit, but then it kept going. And like the additional hits kept going. So the opponent got hit because like, oh hey, then I got hit. So you gotta follow up with the parries. Is it possible to throw the guard impact in the middle of their forward momentum? Yes, you can throw. It's not called guard. It's called the drive impact. You can definitely throw it. Yes. Can you air parry? You cannot air parry. What about wake up DP? Oh yeah, so DPs are not invincible on wake up. You have to spend meter, just like Street Fighter 5. So I think in some ways, like Street Fighter 5's like new foundation, like I didn't really agree with the Street Fighter 5's core foundation when it first came out. Like, I mean, they had invincible DPs in season 1 without meter, and there's just you feel like you're at glue. Like anti-airs are kind of crazy. So after a few seasons, all the way to where we have now, it's a much better game. Like, I enjoy Street Fighter 5 a lot more now than definitely last season and a couple seasons before that. You know, and I just see like the devs, they made an effort to fix some of these things to make it better, and I'm okay with that. Like if Street Fighter V can get better than just like getting away with like flailing buttons into a V trigger, right? I can just walk around and sweep you. Like I gotta worry about your sweep or your special attack. That's and then you're gonna be plus on block activating V trigger, and yeah, to some it's like, well, you can avoid it and all that stuff, but like, does that really add depth to the game, or is it just like, oh hey, you know, I have my V trigger ready and you're gonna have to hold this for sure. There's no way around it. You're gonna have to hold this V trigger activation because my sweep or my long attack is gonna put you in that situation. In 5, there is none of that. Like there's no activation point of sorts except the traditional whiff punishing game. So you whiff punish that's your target game. The person that has a better neutral game with the system mechanics, how you counter the system mechanics that are not overbearing. You know, there's no like say drive impact, right? If they were really focus attacks and they were level 2 focus attacks, you know, the opponent is whoever activates it is plus in Street Fighter 4. Like you're locking them down into like more shenanigans. So you don't have to deal with that. All right. Yeah, and then there's things in 4 that I didn't like either, right? So like, of course, the vortexes and there are just characters that just avoid neutral too, and red focuses were like some characters red focuses were way better than others in regards to like getting the closing combo and all that jazz. So yeah, sweep activation, I don't think a lot of people like that. I don't really like that in Street Fighter 5. I don't like EXs into activate or things that you can't react to. Like you can't stop it. Like some of the things that Sanford was saying in the podcast with like Rob TV and them, like there's some truth to the old school way of playing stuff, is where we're about control and we're like kind of playing toe to toe, and like the things that we get rewarded with, like if we build more meter than you, you're gonna die even worse because we're the ones that were attacking, we're the ones that put you in certain situations, but you always had a chance to counter it. But in 5, it's like, here's a perfect scenario. Like I was playing Nephew recently, okay, and my fireball game was on point. I normally get him down, like 30-40% life. Like it's down, okay. He has V trigger. I don't even have like anywhere close to my full V trigger gauge up. Right now that he has V trigger, I can't throw fireballs because he can just activate into like whatever. Right. So now it forces me to play the neutral game with attacks. Okay. So now he has another opportunity into like whiff punishing me when my fireball game, prevented him from doing anything. So it just, and it's the same scenario with like Ken. Like I'm playing like Anthony or whatever. I'm doing great with the fireballs, and then they get V trigger, and it prevents me from throwing fireballs because he can do V trigger Shinryuken, right? But it also forces me to play closer now, and remember I don't have V trigger. I don't get those activation points, right? So it's just that portion of the game that it definitely rewards you for losing a little bit more life in the beginning of Street Fighter V is actually an advantage. Which is kind of weird, but it's definitely an advantage because you get access to your other tools, and having access to all those tools with more meter and full V gauge versus my full meter but I don't have V gauge, I'm in a neutral disadvantage because they have the freeze frame. They can stop my, like, say for instance, here's a perfect scenario, and the first person I've seen do this was Phenom, right? when he was like the Nakali god back then, he would always jump my fireballs when he had V trigger ready to go. So what he would do is, I would do the same thing as nephew. I would just make it rain with fireballs, and then he has level 3 V trigger, and as soon as he sees me reach my hands in my pocket, pops V trigger, gets a free jump in roundhouse, standing fears, stomp, super. Can't throw fireballs. So knowing that, it's just that part of the game where it's like it's no fault to him. It's just like, where is my reward for for putting your character life like on the line early in the game? So we have to play your game because I'm winning early. Yeah, so it's just, I mean, to a lot of people that started with Street Fighter V, like their answer to all of that is like, well, you do have to take it. You do have to block. This is that type of game. Like, yeah, you have to acknowledge that there's no way to get a hard read every time versus my V trigger activation point. You're just gonna have to hold it. I get my plus frames, or whatever. My opponent gets my plus frames, and I gotta deal with it. Okay, and then that's where the real game turns on. So Street Fighter 6, so far you don't get that type of play. However, the only thing that I can kind of compare it to is the perfect parries. The perfect parry is probably gonna piss some people off because some people are gonna, like I mentioned this earlier tonight, some people are gonna call it lucky. It's gonna happen in like the most crucial moments, like it's a do or die. They're just gonna, right? Remember, you get a full combo punish off of a parry. That's really dangerous. Like, that's what made Third Strike. You can get full combo punish off of lights. Okay, they're bringing that shit back. All right, in 6, but in 6, you don't have to control a parry. You can just tap the parry button. The mediums. You don't have to parry down. You don't have to parry forward. You just yeah. But I mean, you can bait the parries too. So I love that there's risk reward. There's no risk in parrying in Third Strike, not that much, because it's so fast. You can just cover. You can OS parry a lot of situations in Third Strike. You truly can. But yeah, it's the only thing that's remotely close to like being robbed. If you want to call being robbed, it's the parry. But is it robbed, or did they really read your attack? And you know that there's a risk behind it. Like you could have not pushed anything, made him use the parry, get a full counter. I always want to call it a crush counter, but you want to get a counter punish, like reward off of their poor choice. So, all right. Was there still a heavy scaling on perfect parry? That's a good question. I don't know, to be honest. I didn't get enough time to like see the damage differences from getting hit off of a drive impact and a perfect parry and all that stuff. So, okay, all right, guys. I think we're gonna call it now. I've shared a lot of information with y'all. I really hope that you guys give Street Fighter 6 a chance. Shout outs to Capcom for kicking down this old man a pass to check out Street Fighter 6 at Comic-Con. I think a lot of you guys are gonna have fun with it in Evo for sure. I'm pretty sure the same build's gonna be there. If they have a new build, that would be amazing. But I mean, let's hope they actually do have a new build. I mean, it's Evo. Why not? Try to see where things are at with this one. I think I forgive me if I missed anything about Street Fighter 6 from at least my playthrough. But if you guys do come up with more questions, feel free to hit me up on Twitter. Now I can actually say them because I've been holding back because I didn't want like the the clip vultures and all those guys trying to take all the Twitter impressions and stuff like from like all my clips, because they were starting to put those up on their YouTube channel. I'm like, dude, that's not cool. So, but yeah, hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, or you follow me on Instagram. I will gladly explain what I know. I would like go over what I know because this is a time of sharing. This is like a lot of people say, yo, old school cats like save that shit for nationals, and dude, we were the first ones to share knowledge, man. That save that shit for nationals, that was just an inside joke where like, hey, I found something out. Yeah, I'm gonna use it at this one tournament, but after that, I'm gonna make a book about it, like a portion of the book, and explain exactly what went down and pass it on because I deserve figuring out that strat. The Japanese do it too. The Japanese, they're not like the saints either. They figure out some crazy stuff. They don't share everything. They all the basic stuff is out there, but all their hardcore work, they keep that shit close to the chest. All right. Okay, cool guys. Thank you guys so much for your time. I'm just going to close it up with some Street Fighter 6 background. I'll see you next time. Much love. Have a good night. Peace out.